What does a second interview with Bill Belichick look like, Tom? What is happening in Atlanta?
I think that anything revolving around Bill Belichick cannot be categorized as an interview. Let's start there, Rich. These are meetings. The first meeting was lengthy. It was one-on-one between Bill Belichick and Arthur Blank. My understanding is they've continued to talk on a regular basis about potentially being, moving forward together. And so today, Bill Belichick is in the Atlanta area. He's meeting with a lot of other people within the organization. And it all comes down to, Rich, something that we've talked about for weeks, both related to what was going on in New England at the end and what would have to happen for Bill to take another job, which is it's the structure of the organization. It's what do various people do? What are their roles? What does he control? What does he contractually control? What is he going to be in charge of? Can he bring these people to do this? It's all those various things because, you go all the way back from, when Bill Belichick was previously the Cleveland head coach and obviously was with your Jets and then ends up resigning to go to New England here. He's always had a situation where there's not been a general manager, where he's had vast control over different personnel within the organization in addition to the roster. And so from everything that I understand, Rich, Arthur Blank and Bill Belichick have had really positive discussions. A lot of the stuff from a macro perspective, they're on the same page, but you've still got a lot of other people in the building. You've still got a lot of other conversations that need to take place here. And they need to nail those things down. In addition to, obviously, there's various rules that you have to follow before making a head coaching hire. Right now, I'd say everything is certainly trending in the right direction for Bill Belichick to be the Falcons' next head coach, but they're not there yet, and the meetings that are going on today are a big part of it.
Okay, so then what are the Chargers up to? I mean, they spoke to Mike Vrabel after speaking to Jim Harbaugh this week. I was thrilled to see David Shaw on their radar screen. I'm obviously biased when it comes to him. So what's their thinking right now?
Big piece of what the Chargers have been looking for, and John Spanos said this, Rich, on the record shortly after they dismissed Brandon Staley and Tom Telesco, was that experience would be a plus in this job. You go through all their recent hires. A lot of times they've hired one of the hotter candidates. Brandon Staley was a really hot candidate. And if he had not taken the Chargers job on, I believe it was a Sunday night, he would have been on a plane the next day to Philadelphia and quite possibly been the head coach there instead of Nick Sirianni, who ended up getting the job, went to a Super Bowl, and now is subject to discussions about his future as well. At any rate, they've hired that guy in the past. This time around, they want somebody who's done it before. And so their interview list from Jim Harbaugh to Mike Vrabel to Leslie Frazier to David Shaw. They're going to have Dan Quinn for a virtual interview soon as well. A lot of the interviews that they're interviewing different people as well, but a lot of those check the box of somebody who has showed that they can win in the past. Now, Jim Harbaugh is in a little different category relative to a lot of these other coaches because Bill Belichick became available after 4-13. Mike Vrabel became available after losing 18 of his last 24 games. Pete Carroll at this point is available, even though they had a winning record again this season, but because they had not achieved to the level they felt that they should with the roster in recent years. The guy who's kept winning wherever he's been is Jim Harbaugh. And so everything there, too, from my understanding, has been very positive between the Chargers and Jim Harbaugh. The Spanos family knows him going back to his playing days. So there's not a lot of surprises. I know other people kind of are sometimes taken aback just by how unique Jim Harbaugh's personality is. He is a very strong presence in every building. But from everything that I know at this point, nothing's off the table in terms of Jim Harbaugh potentially becoming the head coach of the Chargers. There's also still negotiations going on at Michigan. At some point, Jim Harbaugh is going to have to make a final decision. We've been here, Rich. You certainly have lived through this for several years now. And it'll be interesting to see when it comes right down to it. This is not like a linear, like most of these head coaching searches in the NFL, which is, okay, this is our guy. We're going to start working on a contract with him. We're going to tell the other people we're out. We've identified we're zeroing in. With Harbaugh, you can do that, but he still might go, actually, I'm going to go back to Michigan. That's part of the dynamics here that are at play. The one thing I can tell you for sure, Rich, is they committed from the start to doing interviews with everybody that they had slips out for. I believe there's 3 more of those head coaches that they still need to do. They will handle those over the next couple of days here. And then we'll see where we're at. But Jim Harbaugh certainly is in play.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.